Great. Okay, everybody. So hopefully you all can see my screen. You can go ahead and can somebody let me know if they can see my screen or not?
Yes.
I can.
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So welcome to our Wellness Wednesday for June. We are going to be talking today a little bit about ways to reduce fears of falling. Okay. So that's going to be a few different topics we're going to talk about. My name's Sean. I'm a health educator here at Healthy Aging Association. I've been here since last November. Currently, I'm a student and stay on state. I know I was telling a few of you that I was running here right after class, actually. So I have a final tomorrow. Going to try and knock that out and keep on going. And I am also the Dignity at Home program coordinator, which is a great program you'll hear about a little bit towards the end too, okay? Just a little bit of information. Our Wellness Wednesdays are recorded. So this Zoom meeting is going to be recorded and it will be posted on YouTube channel, a website, and on our Facebook page. So if you feel uncomfortable about being recorded when you're talking or anything, please, you can feel free to just have your camera off, okay? And any previous recordings that we have done in the past, you can view them on YouTube. You can type in Wellness Wednesday and the date, and that tends to work pretty well. And they all look similar. So just look at the writing for which month you want to watch or topic you'd like to look at. Good. And this is funded from Healthy Aging Association, which is a nonprofit organization. Our mission is to help older Americans live longer, healthier, more independent lives by promoting increased physical activity and sound health and nutrition practices. Okay, so you will see some of that throughout our presentation today too. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump on in a little bit. So we have some startling statistics. I have shown this one in the past. So if it does look familiar, I just think it's a good statistic to keep up. About 36 million falls are reported yearly among older adults, okay? And older adults are typically 55 or 60 and up, right? This is going to be leading to more than 32,000 deaths per year, which is very high number. So
Es de eso del que vamos a caminar al mall.
1 second there. I'm going to go ahead. Okay. So that's 1 out of 5 falls can cause an injury. And we all know that injury is never good, right? We don't want to end up having to go to the hospital due to an injury or anything like that. And yearly, at least 300,000 older adults are hospitalized for a hip fracture. And more than 90%, 95% of those hip fractures are all due to falls, right? So that's a vast majority of hip fractures being due to a fall, and falls are preventable, right? So 95% of those hip fractures can be prevented. And then a nice little statistics on the bottom too is just women do tend to fall more frequently than men and account for 3/4 of all hip fractures. Okay, little stat I wanted to put it up there for everybody too.
Sí.
Okay. So I have a question here for everybody to see too. What kind of hazards do you see on these 2 pictures?
Carpets,
The carpet, right?
cords.
The cords. Anybody else see anything too?
The other picture, I got to make it bigger. Well, stuff in the hallway.
Right.
Yeah.
This is actually from a home assessment I did a couple of weeks ago. Okay.
Oh,
So it's both pictures are from the same house. Now, the one on the right is just a zoomed in picture right past where the wheelchair is right here.
okay.
So not only is there obviously clutter, right? These boxes on the side, and then there's other boxes on this side, her her wheelchairs right here. And this was a very heavy trafficked area that she walked. Okay. So this on the right picture is just a zoomed in portion of this little gap transition from room to room. And she has cords right here, and it's off center where it's a step down and kind of
Good.
a groove in the ground, I guess you can call it. So is what would be a thing that you can think about for a solution to these issues?
No, put the cords away, number one.
Exactly, right.
And is that a carpet meeting the hardwood floor there?
No, it's actually, this is the picture on the right, so it's like a
Yeah.
laminate tile kind of thing. It's not a carpet, but then it's like a wood floor.
Well,
So-
there's a gap where she could
Yes,
trip.
the
Is it-
gap, yes.
So they should be able to do something with that gap, fill it
Exactly,
in or
exactly.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then get rid of all the clutter in where the walking area is.
Good, good. Does anybody else have any other things that come to mind?
You could tape it down.
Good, very good. Yeah, you can tape it down. You can, even if you do have the cords laying out, if you do have them kind of organized and you tape them down and out of the way, then those can be much safer too, right?
They have things that you can put along your baseboard
Uh-huh.
to clip your cords.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I got it from Amazon.
Okay, I have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't know if mine was kind of smaller cords. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they have them for larger cords, but
Yeah, it might not be for all, right? But
Right.
it could help for some, you know.
yeah.
Very good answers. I love it. So moving on, my next question is, so just to get a feel about what you all would like to talk about as well, what are some things that make you afraid to fall?
If you've already,
Afraid to fall, there's nobody here to help you.
Okay. Nobody there to help you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Trying to get up.
Trying to
if
get
you
up.
fall. If you've broken a bone or something, it'd be pretty hard and painful to try and get up.
Exactly.
if you've already had one fall, you're more worried about doing it again.
Right? Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you have a previous fall in the past, that's going to make you more nervous, more anxious, and worried that you're going to fall again, right?
Once you fall, though, you're more cautious. Because
See
I
that-
have fallen. I fell one time
Yeah,
and I don't get on a ladder anymore.
yeah, yeah.
You
So
know.
one of the recommendations I do say is if you have a step stool or anything like that, make sure it has a handle on top so you can maintain 3 points of contact, both feet and your hand. And that's the way it can really go with this kind of a thing. If you've had a fall in the past, it can go one of two ways, I think. Okay, a little bit of fear, a little bit of being aware is not a bad thing because then you're cautious.
Right.
But we don't want it to be to a point to where you're not doing things that you love to do, or you're not doing things to stay active and social with friends and family because you're worried to fall, right? So it is a balance. You want to be aware and be aware of your surroundings and hazards, but you don't want to be so afraid that you don't want to get out of your couch, right?
Right.
You want to be able to move and still do things in life. Good. Does anybody else have any other things that contribute to their fear of falling?
It doesn't look like she has any device that she can call someone.
Yeah, right.
She's
Like
wearing.
a life alert device,
Right.
device, right? Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And that's another recommendation I do tend to make for my clients are having that security, right? It's there. You know, some of them hang it up and don't wear it, and you should wear it at all times if you have it. It's a great tool to use, okay? So it's a very good one. Good job pointing that out. So we're gonna go ahead and continue on a little bit to some of the points that I wanted to point out. So in relation to the first two pictures that we had, I had some points up here just for fixing some issues. I think we touched on pretty much all of them. Clearing away all that unnecessary clutter is a big thing. And also just ensuring that that clutter is moved around as much as possible, and the lighting too, okay? You want to make sure that the heavier traffic areas that you use in your home, you want to make sure it has more light. If you can see where you're going, you're going to feel more confident about where you're going and stepping. My big thing today is confidence. I want you all to feel confident moving around, walking around your home, if it's nighttime or daytime. But lighting the way is one of the biggest things. I think every home I go into for my assessments with the Dignity at Home program, I do end up giving like 95% of them night lights. Night lights are great. You can get them off of Amazon, just like that cord clip thing. Home Depot has them. They're a cheap, inexpensive fix that can prevent a fall. The one thing I did want to touch on this was I did do one home assessment a while back where my client's mom had lighting in her bathroom connected to her room. She said it was too bright, or she didn't like it, and she turned it off.
Oh,
And when she walked back into the room after turning the light off, it was so dark she couldn't see where her bed was. She went to sit on her bed. She had a fall. Now, she missed her bed, and then she did have a fall. But she is doing okay. It's just that's really something preventable, right? That's something we can prevent if we have the right tools and mindset too. She might have been just a little too confident because she thought she could turn the light off, right? Great. And then one of the things that I like to tell clients to use too as well are these cord protector or covers, right? This one, the picture you see on your screen, is a little bit more of an industrial size one, or like a garage size one that you may have seen in the past. Home Depot and Amazon, they do have ones that are like more home friendly, I believe, that are clear or plastic. And I think that that would be, if I'm able to go back, right, that would be a great
Right,
addition to right here on this gap.
right, right.
And that's what I
Oh.
advise for them to do. It doesn't have to be just for cords, but it could be a cheap, quick fix for things like this. Okay, to where, oh, okay, I see that that's there. It is going to create a little bit of a raised hill. So you have to be mindful of that and know that it's there. Okay. But these are just some possible fixes that you can do. Okay, there's plenty others you can do as well. Okay. One big thing that we always push for, as you can see in our mission statement and everything we said earlier, is staying physically active. Okay, staying physically active is very beneficial for you to prevent falls, and not only physically prevent your falls, but to mentally make you more more comfortable, more confident, and knowing you're secure on your feet, right? So just staying active is one of the best ways to stay confident and help to reduce those falls for you. Even just doing a light exercise, 20 to 30 minutes, a few days a week, can be really beneficial if you're not doing any exercise as is, right? Just walking, right? Just doing walking is a great thing to do. Find a fun fitness class that motivates you to exercise, and you develop friendships, and you're not there alone, and you don't, if you're not sure what to do or how to do it, if you feel like you're not confident in exercising, right? Those workout classes are great because you're not the only one there, and then you know that you're not the only one feeling that way too. I know I exercise better alone in a fitness this class. So like the picture on our left here is a picture from our Young at Heart strength training class. I know a few of you in here were probably in that class earlier today. So, or any of our other classes in person, right? So it really is so beneficial to get some walking in and some strength training like these classes, because it's going to help keep your bones stronger and your muscles stronger. And that's what's going to help prevent those falls for you. Okay. And again, going back to that confidence, if you're feeling good, then your confidence is up and you're feeling, I can go tackle these steps to go outside, you know, or just because it did drizzle a little bit, I know I'm confident that I can walk and go visit my neighbor, right? So there's a lot of big things that staying physically active can do for your physical health and your mental health, right? And confidence, right? So the big subject I wanted to talk about a little bit today is just try not to let your fear of falling prevent you from doing activities that you love to do. You know, I feel like once you stop doing things you love to do, you could start to feel down and then not be motivated to do like as much stuff at all. So you might be demotivated to do less and less and less. And then next thing you know, you're just not really doing very much. And then by like limitations of movements like this, it's going to increase your chances of falling. And can anybody think of why?
You got to be active to keep your body strong.
Right. So you want to keep
If
your
you're not-
body strong, right? And you know, it doesn't take long for muscles to start to dwindle and get weak, right?
Right, right.
It only
The
takes
more you
days.
sit, the less you do.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
How's the saying go? It doesn't it say things that are in motion stay in motion. That's one
Right.
of Newton's laws, I think. So it's very true. You know,
Mhm.
if you're staying active, if you're staying moving and doing things, then you're gonna feel better. Okay, but if you're
Right.
very staying stagnant and not moving as much, it's really going to lead to a decline in your confidence in yourself, that you can get up and
Depression.
it can lead to some depression, right?
Right.
You know, you want to
Right.
be able to get outside and go do things, and you know, so confidence is a big thing. All right.
Right.
So try to not limit your movements. You want to be safe. Obviously, be safe. Be cognizant of your surroundings, of if you're feeling dizzy or anything like that, to grab a seat. You want to be very cognizant of those kind of things. Okay. Right.
I've added a walking stick to my walk outside.
Good. See, yeah,
Yeah.
adding something like a walking stick when you walk.
Right.
I've talked
Having a
about
friend.
it.
Good.
What was
If you
that?
You can walk with a friend. That really helps you get
Yeah,
motivated.
walking with a
Because I
friend.
lost my walking buddy, so
Oh,
hard. It's hard.
oh,
It is hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
I know. It's hard because you really want to have somebody to go with, and hopefully
Right.
you can find another walking buddy. If you're in any of our other stuff, maybe you'll find a friend. We do have a great steps program that we push in spring and fall. You'll hear about that towards the end too. It's
Right.
initiative, right? But using like that stick too, right? If you have a cane or a walker, use it. Okay.
Right.
It's there for a reason. A lot of falls can be prevented by just using your walker or cane, and you don't have to go walk crazy distances. Yeah, you don't have to have crazy distances. I used to tell, when I worked in physical therapy a little bit as an aide, I would tell some patients that were trying to walk more, is just walk to a certain house on your street and then walk back, and then you have a goal, right? And then keep trying to go farther and come back and see how you feel, just to make sure you're confident in how far you
Right.
get to.
I walk in my house. I
Okay.
set my timer.
Yeah,
I have a goal to
Good.
walk at least 20 minutes.
yeah,
And I have a little path that I follow around the house,
good.
you know, because like I said, I lost my walking buddy, so I don't go out
Yeah.
and walk too much. And then the weather's hot now, so,
Yes, and that's one thing to be aware of too. It is getting very, very hot out there too. So
right,
stay hydrated.
right.
But then there's also some points I have on your screen right now too for ways to feel a little bit more confident. Having your vision checked regularly by your doctor. This is implemented into all of our Wellness Wednesdays pretty much because it is a big thing. If you don't keep up to date with your prescriptions for your glasses, might not be able to notice, but you're
Right.
going worse, right? And then you might not see your pets or that wire or cord
Mhm.
or that little step. It's always those tiny steps, not the big steps, but the tiny steps that get people, I feel like. Wearing proper footwear is going to make you feel more secure and confident, right? Not
Right.
having just slippers on that flip-flop around with you. They tend to fall off feet. And please avoid walking in your house with just socks because that can
Oh,
lead.
God. no.
Some people do. Some people have. You'll be surprised and they'll understand why they shouldn't.
No.
But trying to avoid those things, wearing that proper footwear, right? A proper footwear is one that's going to close around that ankle on the back of your ankle. I prefer tennis shoes. I say
Mhm.
just wear tennis shoes, okay? Another point is to make a plan in case you have a fall, okay? One of the biggest things if you do have a fall ever is to just try to stay calm and relaxed, okay? You want to see and feel if you've actually have any injury, okay? If you feel pain, and then you want to try to be able to get up on your own. But this goes farther than that. This plan goes with a check-in system, okay? I've had spoken with clients and I've heard stories of people too where both of their neighbors on both sides of their property know that if they don't see them or hear from them in about a day or two, they ask them to come check in on them.
Oh.
And I think that's such a great
Yeah.
strategy. There was a
Yeah.
gentleman that I've heard about. It's a story I've heard. So I didn't speak with them personally, but a gentleman apparently had fallen between his bed and his wall and was unable to get up. And he had a check-in system with his neighbor, and his neighbor had not seen or spoken to him in I think a day, or it might have been a certain amount of hours. And they went to go check on him. Nobody answered the door, and they actually peeked through the window and saw he was stuck.
Oh,
And they called first responders and they got him out. And he's okay. From what I remember, I've heard he's okay. So that's just an example, right?
right.
Making a plan. Just talk with your neighbors and any friends or relatives, right? Say, hey, I'm gonna call you and just say hi for 2 minutes every morning. If you don't hear from me, come to the house and check on me because I should call you, okay? And we can all get forgetful and forget to call. But if you don't hear from me, call me, right? Making these check-in systems are really, really good. I really love it.
My daughter and I text every day,
Great. See, right
every day,
there. Yeah.
even if we have nothing to say.
Yeah.
But we
And that
do
can
have
happen.
something-
That can happen. Yeah. And just shooting I'm okay text, or if you can text, great. If it's a little bit wonky for you, I get it. My dad can't text to save his life, but just if you can just shoot a little, I'm doing good, or good
It works.
morning, whatever.
It works great.
Good. Yeah, I think that's a really good plan. And then the last bullet point on this one, I really wanted to say is setting goals. Okay. This might be a little bit of my class I'm doing right now, but setting these goals that are attainable goals, right? That you can, that you can accomplish. Okay. That's going to really build your confidence. Okay. So setting like that, walking down to a certain house and then coming back, right? That's a good goal to say, I'm going to try and do this X amount of days a week, right? And that's going to help keep you moving, keep you active, keep you feeling good, and hopefully keep that confidence high, right? You don't want to be overly confident and then you're not being aware of things, right? So you don't want to be overly confident and too comfortable to where you might not notice a step, right? You want to be aware of your surroundings, but you want to be confident enough to know that you can do things still.
When I go to the mailbox, many times I take the long way around. It's probably about a half a mile
Okay.
to go to the mailbox.
Oh, wow. That's great. See, that's a good goal, right? It's something you can attain, right? It's not too difficult. It's realistic, right? It's just gonna walk to my mailbox and walk back, and I take the longer route. Cool. And then you have a shorter route if you're not feeling great that day. All right. I think it's good. Good. So for the vision, we talked a little bit about this already. I will just start to rant and talk, so bear with me. But having your vision checked regularly, we talked about it, keeping those prescription glasses up to date. Pets are a big one. I know we say this in Young at Heart too, is get those pets out of the room before you're going to exercise. If you do any exercises at home, when you're walking around at night, that's the big one for me. Me and my wife, I inherited her cat who's 17, and he is like a gray dark tabby cat, I think, and I can't see him at night. So if I walk, he does get under my feet because he thinks I'm gonna give him treats or something. You know, and for some reason, anytime I get up is apparently to give him food. But so I've actually tripped over him a couple of times and like I've almost fallen, you know, and it makes me think about, you know, all the older adults in our community and what we do. And it's a big point I like to press on. So it's really being aware of where they are, and lighting your pathways is going to be a big way to resolve that. So you can see where you're going, you see their shadow, or you see them coming around. But being mindful of where your pets are at all times is a good one too. But you have to be able to see them. So make sure you update that vision, okay? Talked about proper footwear, closing that shoe around the ankle. It should not be sliding off or sliding around or easy to kick right off, right? You want shoes that are going to provide you with really good support. They can help with some foot pain if you have good footwear, and just avoid walking around with socks. And again, it's going to help build that confidence for you to take that longer route to the mailbox, right? And go for those walks daily if you can. Is having those secure shoes are going to make you feel more confident to move around. Having a plan. Okay, we've talked about this a little bit, right? So my point too is to have a nice plan for in case you have an emergency, right? So we talked a little bit about, you know, having that set up to where you have a check-in system with family or friends or neighbors. You know, but also making more plans for emergencies. You know, what if you know, you do fall and you've already checked in with somebody and you fell right after you checked in with somebody. You want to make sure that you have some way of contacting first responders for help if you need it too. So if you have a cell phone and that's all you have, I just recommend you just keep that phone with you at all times, wherever you go. I've seen people that have the necklace that goes around their neck and it holds their phone. Could be a little bit heavy if you have a big phone, right? But if you have a small phone, it could be doable. And she was, this is my life alert, and it works perfect. And that has helped her a lot. Ensure you have a way to call for help, right? So that's that, the phone, and that's also the life alert if you have something similar to that. And then I just put a little saying on the bottom that I've always said and learned from the Army: you hope for the best, but you plan for the worst, right? Hope for the best, but plan for the worst, right? And I think that's a really good thought process to have. Is I'd rather be prepared and nothing happen, right?
I have a Bluetooth
Mhm.
my Bluetooth, and I have it on a, well, it's not a string. I have it on a cord, and I
Okay,
wear that around my neck. So that that's not heavy, and I wear it when
Yeah.
I go out. I wear it around the house.
good.
Yeah, so if I have to call my neighbor or my children or
Mhm.
an ambulance, whatever, I've got it right there.
That's awesome. I think that's a really great plan. It's right
You
there.
know,
It's great.
I put 911 on my cell phone, but I don't know if that really works.
Oh,
was-
really?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never tried it. I've never had to, but
Well, yeah, you don't
I
want
don't know no, I'm not, I'm sorry, not 911, the police department. I put it-
Oh, like the
Uh,
Modesto Police Department's phone number or wherever
Right.
you're living.
Yeah, I live in Newman.
You can call them, but I would recommend that if you did have a fall and you can't get up, call 911.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And if you have a phone, I just learned this recently, but did you know that if you have a phone and say it's a backup phone or the phone just your payment plan didn't work, if your phone doesn't have a service provider, it will still call 911.
Oh,
I just learned that recently that
wow.
if you have a phone and it's not hooked up to T-Mobile or Verizon or anything like that, it still can work for 911.
Oh, that's good to know.
Very cool to know, right? I just learned.
Yeah,
Yeah. So plan, right? I like to make sure I'm ready just in case of any kind of an emergency too, because other things can lead to a fall. I mean, hopefully this never happens to any of you, but what if there was a bit of a fire or something happening in your
right.
you have to get out fast. If you can't see where you're going, and if you're rushing to get out there and you're trying to catch your pets and get them out too, you can have a fall, right? So you want to have a plan like, okay, if this happens, I'm going to this exit, I'm getting the pet and we're going, or if you don't have a pet, just get what you need and get out, kind of a deal, right? Get to safety as soon as you can.
Right.
But yeah, I would recommend having a plan for any kind of a scenario and just having a plan for if you fell, okay, if I've fallen and I'm unable to get up, what's my next plan? Do I have my cell phone with me? Can I call for help? And then, okay, I don't have my cell phone. I don't have that. Okay, so do I have something close to me that I can get to? Right. So having cordless phones in every room. If you have an extra phone and it doesn't have a plan, you know that you can call 911 with it, keep it charged in a separate room, and if you can get to it, there you go. Check-in system, maybe have it in the morning and in the evening, right? I'll shoot you a text in the morning and then you text me in the evening, right? A little buddy system.
Another thing I have my kids on
Mhm.
my phone as an emergency contacts.
Okay, good, exactly.
So if, say, someone found me passed out or something,
Yeah.
they could look on my phone
Mhm.
and see the
Good.
emergency contact. And there's a big red thing right by the name.
Good. And it just
Yeah.
says call them, right? Yeah.
Right.
Good. I like that. That's awesome. Good. So we have our check-in system, right? Your neighbors, your
Right.
friends, your family members, which we already talked about and everything. And I can't emphasize this enough. I think it's such a great idea, it's such a great system to do. And just make a plan to be checked in on if you haven't been heard of or heard from in a certain period of time, right? And that could be morning and at night or once a day, whatever works best for you. Good. Setting some attainable goals, right? Those small goals that you can set that are attainable and realistic, they lead to big goals. Okay, that's something I always say too. Small goals lead to big goals. It helps give you that sense of accomplishment, building your confidence, and overall it's going to just lead to progress, right? To you feeling confident that you're not going to have a fall, overcoming any of those fears that you have of falling, right? So if it's your fear of nobody able to help you, well, I'm making a plan, I have a system, right? If you're worried about trying to get up, maybe trying to make sure you're doing some strength classes, make sure you're strong enough to help yourself get up. So things like that. And keep moving. Can't say it enough, right? So as you're aging, as we're all aging, most of us are going to lose coordination and flexibility and balance. These are three really big things, okay? And this really does happen a lot through inactivity. So when you're being inactive, you're losing more coordination, more flexibility, and more balance with every day. So just don't let things like those improper shoes slow you down. You know, get yourself some tennis shoes so you can be able to be a little bit more active and moving around. And just research is showing that 30 minutes a day, 3 to 4 times a week of activity can help decrease the risk of falling. Now, it doesn't have to be 30 minutes straight. You could do 3 10-minute walks.
All right.
You could do one walk in the morning for 10 minutes, one walk after lunch for 10 minutes, and one walk after dinner for 10 minutes. And that alone is going to be beneficial for you. If you can do that 3 to 4 times a week, it'd be great. Even if you just do a little bit of strength training for 10 minutes and do it throughout the day, it's better than doing nothing for yourself, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and jump into just a little bit of some of the classes we have too. So just preventing future falls in general is a slide I want to add in here too, is things we just touched on. Okay, just exercise regularly, check your vision and check your hearing. Okay, checking for fall hazards throughout your home. Remember that clutter we saw in the beginning. Use those assistive devices. Watching out for your pets. And being aware of your surroundings, inside and outside, right? So, you know, when you're taking a walk in your neighborhood and your sidewalk, there's always that crack that can get you. That happens to my wife every time we walk. Every time we walk, my wife hits one crack, and I tell her, you need to pick up your feet, or you need to look at where you're going, because I'm going to make her join one of our classes. But being mindful of those little things, right? Just taking your time. You don't need a rush. Just take your time when you're doing things in general and walking and moving around. And kind of, if you have to stop and say, oh, okay, I'm going to these steps. Here's what I can do. Here's the handrail. Here's how I can step down safest, right? Don't be afraid to ever ask for help too, if you need help. A good point too is medication, right? Some medications can lead to dizziness and feeling faint. It can lead to falls. Okay, so speaking with your doctor, your healthcare provider, about swapping out those kind of medications for ones that can be not have such severe side effects, if that's possible, is a good way to go. So just talking to your doctor, hey, I'm worried about falling. Whenever I take this medicine, it makes me feel a little loopy or a little bit dizzy. I feel like I'm going to have a fall. And then I put at the bottom, just to invest in yourself and join a fall prevention program. We have plenty here, right? So a lot of great group activities, and that's kind of how we jump in. First, I do point out my program that I'm the coordinator of, right? It's the Dignity at Home Fall Prevention Program. You know, it's dignity, right? It's going to give you that sense of dignity and confidence in your own home. We really provide some great in-home environmental assessments. So I come to the home, assess, see what you can benefit from the most, and get you some fall prevention accessories installed into your home. And if you qualify for the program, it all comes at no cost. So you don't have to pay to have anything put in or pay for grab bars or anything like that. It all gets put in at no cost for you.
Do they put in high-rise toilets?
We don't put in new toilets, but we put in toilet seat risers, or we put in the toilet safety frame, which is this one right here with the handles. That's a really good one too. That helps a lot. But we don't put in the high-rise toilet. We just put in accessories. Okay. It's for anyone 60 or up, or if they have a disability, they could be under 60, and it is an income base. So So I put increase your confidence, stay independent, right? That's my goal with this program, is to keep people independent in their home, being able to shower and bathe and take care of themselves daily. So some of these guidelines for this program are that you have to be over 60 or be disabled. You just have to be at risk of falling or worried about falling, right? Or had a fall. We do need you to be vaccinated for COVID-19. Meeting some income guidelines. We do have, it is an income-based program. From what I do know, though, these numbers will be going a little bit higher, actually. So right now, if it's a one-person home, it's $3,300 a month or less that you have coming in. And for two people, it's $3,800 or less. But if you are curious about it, you can always hang out at the end of this and talk to me a little bit, or you can call our number right down here. It's just a Healthy Aging, and ask to speak to me, Sean, because I am the program coordinator for this. I'm the main one that's working on this program. It's a great program. If you're able to qualify, it never hurts to try. So it's really great. Usually if people already have things put in, I can get more stuff for them so they feel more confident. This is all about being confident, you know, so we can really limit that fear of falling. Next is our Young at Heart strength training class, right? So it's practice tested, right? So it is proven to work. We use rubber resistance tubing with soft handles for grips. There's 4 different levels. If you do get some, we recommend you get them from us. We do sell them at a low price, just so you're using the same colors that everybody else has in class because they have different strengths, okay? Each class is an hour long and we usually do twice a week. It's going to work on your strength, balance, flexibility, to help reduce your risk of falling and maintain independence. We incorporate all 3 things in that workout program. It's not too strenuous. It is a great exercise. You can do everything seated in a chair if you need to. Don't let that discourage you. And you can do it standing as well. We do have an online Zoom class right now, but we have a lot more that have been coming back into person. So if you're interested and you're looking for new walking buddies, or if you're trying to find a group to exercise with a little bit, don't hesitate. Just give us a call and we'll let you know what's available and which one's closest to you. Okay. And our number's right here on the bottom. Okay. Good. And then we have Tai Chi, which is a great class. This one's still going on. It's in Modesto. It's right off. It's at the St. Paul's Episcopal Church. It is Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 10 a.m. Slow movements, working on balance. It's a very good class. I will tell you, some of these people in this class have better balance than me, because I went to the class and I was embarrassed because I couldn't hold. So that's another great class to consider. Again, if you have any questions, you can always hang back and talk to me after, or you can call. We have another Tai Chi class. It is a Tai Chi Quan, moving for better balance. I'm the instructor for this class, actually. It's a great class. We actually are going to still take some new participants. If you would like to join this class, please call. It's fun. It's a small group. We're only at about 9 people. It's a Tai Chi class that is specific for fall prevention. Okay. Like a regular Tai Chi class if you've done one before. But we do a lot of fall prevention movements. It's an 8-form routine. We're learning 1 form at a time. It does build on itself and get a little bit more complicated, but don't let that discourage you. You can come in and join and take your time and you'll pick it up. It's not too complicated, okay? If you're interested in this, give us a call for that too, and we'll get you on the list and have you start coming. It is Tuesdays and Thursdays in the afternoons from 2:30 to 3:30. Okay, it's a great class, so it's really beneficial. We've already had people in class say how it's already prevented them from falling on a couple of occasions. So it's really good. And then in relation to fear with falling, this is probably one of the best classes you can do. If you're worried about falling and that fear of falling is limiting you from doing things you love to do, A Matter of Balance is a great class to do. It's not virtual anymore. We have it back in person. This is an evidence-based program. It's going to reduce your fear of falling and increase your activity level, because we're going to change your mental thought process of it, right? We're going to turn those negative thoughts into positive thoughts. And there's a lot of other different things you learn how to do. It's 9 2-hour classes, okay? They are small groups, 8 to 12, and those 2 hours fly by, okay? It is not that long of a class. With everything you get through and hang out and talk, it's a good class. It's more of a discussion. You discuss and talk about things, and you learn things, but you can be quiet too if you're a little bit nervous. But if you just want the information, it's such a good class to do. There's a little bit of exercise in it after, I believe, the second class, but it is a good class to do. Okay, we do have wait lists on this one because it's smaller groups, but getting your name added to the wait list is a good idea just for whenever anything pops up. Okay, just another great class to consider. So to kind of wrap up just a little bit, some things to remember are to have your vision checked. Be mindful of those medications with your doctor.
You too.
We're gonna make a plan, right? We're gonna make a plan. So we're prepared. You hope for the best, but expect the worst. Let's work on these small goals and all these different things to increase our confidence so we can move around and do things with confidence. And stay active. I can't help but promote this as much as I can. Staying active is the best thing you can do for your mind, body, and soul, right? So staying active is a huge thing. And then just a recap of all the programs, you know, on the right side of the screen over here is going to be just our young and heart strength training. We have those Tai Chi classes, which are both still open. Matter of balance. Our young at heart steps, which I didn't talk about in the slides here, but we do have it coming back after summer. And that's a great program where you track your steps and your miles, and it just motivates you to get out there and walk, okay? And then the Dignity Home Fall Prevention Program. So if you have any questions on any of those, you can call our number at the bottom. We have an email down here if you're tech savvy. And yeah, so that's concluding our talk for today. Our next Wellness Wednesday is going to be in July 27th. At 11 a.m. We'll be doing it on Zoom, as always. We're going to be talking a little bit more about staying mobile, all right? Ways to stay active, different tips and tricks and things you can do to keep moving and staying active, okay? Dr. Bob is going to be our guest speaker for the next class as well. Okay, so Dr. Bob is a physician, and he is retired, and he does come to class and talk with me on this discussion every other month. So he's part of Wellness Wednesday with us. He's great, very informative. He loves to answer your questions and talk with all of you too. So I think that is it for today. So that's all I have for the class today. I will stop recording, and then I can, if you have any questions, we can talk and do all that good stuff. Okay.
Okay.